Shabbat Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth, and salutations to the sincere Akim and Aquat that may listen. May the blessing of election be over your house. My name is Brother Raquai. I'm back in here with another quick lesson. And for today's lesson is likened unto a virtuous woman. And what inspired this lesson is a quote on one of the precepts from Second Ezra chapter 16. And, I was just doing a little meditation, and, I wanted to bring this out and compare, the elect to liken unto a virtuous woman. So, and that is the point of this lesson. And Yahweh Ratazah, this video be edifying, right? So, the point I wanted to make out and draw some comparisons between, a woman that actually tries to be virtuous, right? And, recently I saw a clip, on YouTube the other day, and, it was about a woman. She was, dressed very, very, very modestly. She desires to please her husband, and then when you look through the comments, she got a lot of hate because a lot of women were they were showing um I guess a despise, a distaste towards her, because she wants to be a housewife, she desires to be a mother, and she desires to serve her husband, right? And that is a very, very similar mentality, to draw comparisons between that and the elect, right? Because they'll be the ones that are, being despised, being envied, but when you look at them, they're decked out, but they're decked out in the spirit, right? So, without further ado, let me just get a couple precepts, right? I don't have this one on the list, but this one's one of my favorites that I wanted to bring out. This is Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 23. And it reads this: Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might, let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glory in that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, and that I am the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight to say the Lord Yahweh. Right? So, just like you know, an elect, the elect will glory in, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's why when we open up, we always give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? So let me just get the precept that quickly inspired this lesson. Let's get. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 49, and it reads, like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity, when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face. And when you really think about it, like I'm like being in school, there was that woman that's very, very dressed very modestly, but the other women, they dislike her because she's not partaking in, the ways that they partake in, the very grimy and shady ways. So they have a very a very distaste towards her, and that is the same vibration and the same sentiment that the world will have towards the elect, because they will be very, very lowly. They will, they'll be decked out, like it's like in when you read verse 50, it says here, she decketh herself. And what really decks out the elect is the fact that they know their husband, so to speak. That's Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? They'll be decked out with this wisdom. The scriptures also talk about he that departeth from iniquity maketh himself a prey, right? So I want to read verse 50 again, and it reads, So shall righteousness hate iniquity. When she decketh herself, shall accuse her to her face. When she cometh, that shall defend him that diligently search out every sin upon the earth, right? So this is the vibration. This is just a similar. This is just to draw some comparisons between you know um the elect, how they are seen, versus how the world sees them, right? How the two-thirds will also see them as well, right? Because they'll be envied for actually take for refusing to take part in the ways of this world, the ways that are not even profitable, right? In Revelation, there's a script in Revelation where it says, come out of her, my people, and partake not of her sins, referring to Babylon the Great, right? And the elect would be the ones that actually, put off the ways of this world and put on what? That new man, that new clothing, that new garment, and that garment, referring to this knowledge and wisdom and understanding. So they'll be decked out in the spirit, right? Even though they look rough and they look lowly and so on and so forth, right? As a matter of fact, let me get that to back up my point in regards to them looking lowly. Let's get, I didn't have this on the list, but just bear with me. Uh, okay, this is First Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called, but the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and how the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, and the base things of the world, the things which are despised. Oh, that's a good point too. Um, they'll be hated. Hath the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, yea, the things which are not, to bring to naught the things which are. Right, so that is the way the elect will be seen, and that's just the way the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai actually chooses. When you think about like one of my favorite stories in Judges is Gideon, and when the Lord appeared unto Gideon, he said, "I know I'm the least of my father's house." Right, as he was just a lowly guy, right? David, David is another good example as well, right? And it was all done to magnify whose name? Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai's name. That our husband, Lord willing, we be those men, right? So I just wanted to draw some comparisons between how a virtuous woman would be seen in this society, and liken that onto the elect, right? This is Revelation chapter 14. I'm going to start at verse 1, but the point is in 4. Okay, and it reads this: And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, with them 144,000, with the Father's name written in their foreheads. Right. So this is the 144,000 comprises of those elect members from 12,000 from each tribe. When you read Revelation 7, right, verse 2, and it reads, I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. I heard the voice of harping with their harps, as they sung, as it were a new song, right? And I believe that word new goes into refreshed, right? Which refers to this wisdom, knowledge, understanding of the scriptures, right? This doctrine. Um, before the throne, before the four beasts, and elders, that no man can learn that psalm but the 144,000, right? Verse 4, and it reads, these are they which are not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These are redeemed among the men, being first fruits, the Most High Yahweh, Bashim Hawashai, and to the Lamb, right? So they're virgins, meaning that they were not corrupted, with, other philosophies, essentially, right? Because when you come back to the wisdom and knowledge and understanding, you realize, you have an owner, right? You have a husband, and we learn who to do what? We learn to please the Heavenly Father, right? Right? And this is what the elect would be doing, right, in these times, right? They're not defiled with other philosophies, like, for example, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, and all these different isms, and all these different philosophies that don't profit our people anything, right? Our people jump from these different philosophies, Egyptology, so on and so forth, and they're likened unto that whore that we read about in Second Ezra 16 and 49, right? Because a whore is a person, she sleeps around with many people, right? But what the elect would be doing in the spirit is committing themselves to their husband, right? Which is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? Not dallying with all these other philosophies and so on and so forth, right? So let's continue. Let's get Matthew. Okay, this is Matthew chapter 25, verse 1, and it reads, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom, and the bridegroom is Yahushai. And five of them were wise, and five were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and had no oil in them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. And while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, and ye go out to meet him. And then all the virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. As a matter of fact, let me just get that trim in the BLB. Just give me 1 second, just bear with me. Okay, so I'm just going to play it really quickly.
Strong's G 2885, Cosmeo. Cosmeo.
Okay, so it says cosmeo, and here it says to put in order, arrange, make ready, prepare, to ornament, adorn, right? So just like as a person who as a wife who gets ready to see your husband, they'll be putting themselves in arrangement, they'll be putting themselves and adorning themselves in the spirit, right? And that, what does that entail? It entails putting off a lot of these old ways, these Babylonian ways, and then taking on the ways of Yahweh Bashim Shai, which is what decks us out in the spirit. There's a scripture in Ecclesiastes which says, wisdom maketh a man's face to shine, right? So this is what things that the elect would be doing during these times, right? Making themselves to be that pleasing and comely woman, right? Towards Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? Let's get Colossians. So we're going to get into some of these qualities that the elect would be decking themselves out in the spirit. Okay, this is Colossians chapter 3, verse 12, and it reads, "Put on, therefore, as the elect of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering, forbearing one another, forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even so, even as Yahushua Hamashiach forgave you, also do ye," right? So we're not to, hold any grudges, right? Yahushua had, he had mercy on us, right? So we also have to be able to, extend and show forth that mercy towards our sincere brethren, right? Verse 14, and it reads, above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness, right? So, charity, what does it say about charity? In First Peter 4, it says that charity covered a multitude of sins, right? So these are the kind of qualities that they like to be showing amongst their brethren during these times, right? Because the world, especially in the West, Israelites like to, they don't show forth those they don't show forth these attributes towards our own people. They're very conniving. They like to scam and rip off our people, even their own family members too. You know, they don't show forth these uh, uh, these um, these traits like you read about in verse 12 here, right? They're very unscrupulous. Very shady. You can't trust them. They don't have that healthy fear of the Lord, like it says in Sirach 19, right? So these are little things that our people, especially in the world, don't do because they've been consumed with this Babylonian juice, right? They've been under that vibration of another husband, under Esau, right? And this is the things that he does, right? So I'm gonna pull out one more. This one is one of my favorites. I just wanted to pull this out, and I'll just close it off here. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1, and it reads, "Though I speak um, with the tongues of men and of angels, have I not charity, I have become as a sounding brass or a tingling cymbal." Verse 2, "And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could move mountains, and I have not charity, I am nothing." Right. So this is a very, very important thing that the elect would be doing and practicing during these times, right? That share that loving kindness, that charity and mercy towards one another, right? In John it says, "And then you shall know who are my chosen, not chosen, Slakia. Then you shall know who my disciples by the way you love and treat one another," right? um, "And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burnt and have not charity, it profit me nothing." Um, so, anyways, I just thought I would, touch on these things, some of the things that, the elect would actually be doing, showing forth during these times. They would be putting on these fancy spiritual robes in the spirit, looking at making themselves look all decked out, right? And Yahweh Ratazah, we be of those men, and Yahweh Ratazah also as well. This video be edifying. So I'd just like to close up, but I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. Until next time, I say Shalom.